So we're going to try this one more time tonight, see if we can stay live, go live, be live. It looks like we're doing all right at this point, so yay. Well, that's the craziest thing, because just leave it to a show about conspiracy theories to not have bandwidth to broadcast a show on conspiracy theories. Our show's not always about conspiracy theories. So for those of you that are new here, and we should be staying on now, I've taken us off of Wi-Fi and I'm going through AT&T. So if it screws up now, it's on AT&T. It's Friday. Happy Friday. For those of you that have absolutely no COVID sense of time anymore, every Friday I'll meet you here and I'll tell you it's Friday again. It seems like the Fridays are really close together to me. I don't know about anybody else. So I wanted to show you guys this. This is Athena's list, and lists that every show that we do, she makes a note of who comes in and who watches the show. And so we've kind of got this guest list for Barron Landscape. So we're keeping an eye on you. How many conspiracies can you think of? We've got your names. We've got your Facebook pages. Ooh. Of course, Zuckerberg has a lot more than our names and our Facebook pages, doesn't he? He's just a conspiracy theory wrapped in a conspiracy theory wrapped in Bill Gates. That was mean, Bill. I don't think Bill watches us, but if he or Melissa ever do tune in, I was kidding. We love you. Thank you so much for just being you. Tonight, the music is provided by Brian Anderson and Steve Williford and Rand Woodbury. Not to be confused with Rand Woodbury, but if you don't know that one, look it up. No conspiracies involved. Got a couple of speaking tools for you guys. And I was talking with a couple of people this week who have trouble speaking. Just enunciating, getting the sound out there, and they're doing some broadcasting, and they asked if I knew anywhere to get good, inexpensive vocal training. And so you don't have to go through years like I did of vocal training. There's a book, and it's a magic book, so the magician's probably going to get all, giving away our secrets, but it's a magic book you can buy. If you only buy it for the speech part, then give the magic book away to somebody after you've gotten everything you can get out of it. It's also got how to stand, how to sit, everything for your persona on stage. When I say on stage, I know a lot of people that are salespeople. I know a lot of people that are teachers. And I consider you guys on stage too. So when you come out in front of that crowd that you're dealing with, this is a great book. In it, how to stand, how to walk, and how to speak. And I know our kids are just now, they're PTSDing. It's like, the book, not the book. The book. And so it's called Magic and Showmanship, a Handbook for Conjurers. It's by Henning Nelms. And I was talking to a gentleman earlier this week who has a speech defect due to some complications. And I said, I really think if you get this book and practice what's in it, practice what's in it, then it will help your speech defect. It will help you speak more quickly, more clearly. It also helps stutterers and people like me who just mix up their words. So, Magic and Showmanship, a Handbook for Conjurers by Henning Nelms. It's a great book. If you get to go in front of people and you already know how to speak and you already know how to walk and how to stand, one of the books that I really do suggest is Get More Laughs from Your Laughs. And somebody just recently told me they found a copy of Gene Marvin's Confidential Mental Secrets on eBay or Amazon. It was one of those. Brandon Hackler, I think it was you. I don't remember where he found it. But he found a copy. And I think it was a good price. You got a good deal. This is another one that you may find out on eBay or Amazon. We're not printing them anymore. And so I don't know if we have any extras. We can look. Athena says we may have a couple extras. I can certainly look for you if you like the idea. This book just says, look, this is how to be funny. this is what's funny. And I had spent, before I got this book, I had spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on books and classes on how to be funny, because I wanted to be funny. And all of that money got me, it made those books, those classes, they made their weight in gold. I got to go out and do comedy tours. But had I found this book first, I could have saved all the money from the classes and the other books that I bought. Bob Clam gave me this book. It's written by Robert W. Clam, and it's called Get More Laughs from Your Laughs. How to make funny funnier, how to make funny funny, how to be funny. And there we have it. So there are some really neat tools for speaking, for magicians, for non-magicians. I've got some tools in my trade too. Now, not magic. Casino is our other trade. We do that casino training, and we do asset protection training. Monday we're doing a very dry government regulation training. Thank goodness it's only 2 hours, but it's 2 hours. And one of the things that we always try and do in our programs is we try and do a little bit of magic to spice up those boring regulations. Now, I've got a piece to show you tonight. It's not about regulations at all. This is a piece that we tried to sell to casinos many years ago. Nobody wanted to buy any. We would demonstrate it. We took a little bowl and some alcohol wipes and bandages with us to demonstrate it. The Yakuza was a little interested in it for their yubitsumi practices, but no casino was. And it's a thing that we call the cheater beater. Because what are you going to do to a cheater? You know, you can evict them, you can press charges against them, but I've got a way to have a little more fun. Is this? It's called the cheater beater. And this cheater beater comes with a blade. It's a little pointy blade. It's not very sharp on the edge there, and so when it goes through, you feel it. It's not a surgical cut. I don't know if Malik is watching, but Malik, if you're watching, looky what I found, and if you're not watching, I'll snip it out of the video and send it to you separately, because then I can say, Malik, why are you not watching? Do you not love me? This is called Midwest choppers, and it's a Midwest chopper of a size you probably won't see very often, if at all. These were made for me, and this is my red Midwest chopper, and this is my blue Midwest chopper over here. I want to show you what this thing does. This is specifically to make magicians jealous. That's why I'm doing this right now, is to make magicians jealous. There is the card box, and my card box becomes a holder, and it becomes a holder for the bottom of this Midwest chopper. And the reason that it's called a Midwest chopper is that this is the blade, and it goes in, and you put your fingers through here, and then the blade, whack, chops your fingers off. So it's called the Midwest chopper. It sounds quite logical to me, and I'm going to just set him over there. As I was saying, I don't remember if Malik wanted this in red or the bigger one. We've got bigger ones that are huge. I don't remember if you wanted the big one, or this this size one, which is the 8023s or 8082s. But you'll let me know, I'm sure. This is not a Midwest chopper. This little blade goes right in to this device. I put this pin right through here, and the pin goes right through the blade there. See, it holds the blade in place. And then I put this nice little rubber P right there. And that holds the blade in place so that now it becomes a cheater beater. And the way that the cheater beater works is this. A cheater will put their finger through the device. I suppose you probably want to see that. So a cheater will put their finger through the device. We give them 3 chances to tell us how they were cheating and to tell us that they won't do it anymore. If by the 3rd chance they have still not told us how they cheated and they have still not promised not to do it anymore, then we take that blade, rock! Now, of course, they are not protected by the amazing magic that protects me. And so their finger is lopped off, falls off, rolls around on the floor, And that is why we had the bowl and the alcohol and the wipes. And of course we bandaged them up to send them on their way home. Wow. So there's a quarter. It's a 2020 quarter. Came out in January. Maybe you saw it. It's a quarter for 2020 with bats on it. That's right. I've been flashing that picture for the last week or so on my Facebook page. So you saw it there in the poster. 2 bats on a 2020 quarter. What are the odds of that? And then having coronavirus come from a bat. Oh, the things that juicy conspiracy theories are made of. And let me tell you, the conspiracy theories abounded when people recognized that quarter in their handful of change. And by the way, don't go looking. You don't have any change anymore. This whole night is filled with conspiracies. That quarter, people looked at it and saw that there were bats on it and that it was from 2020. And all internet broke loose because it was a conspiracy. The government printed that coin knowing that a pandemic would be caused by bats. And actually, if you do any research at all on the quarters, the quarter was designed by a school child, and a very nice drawing by a school child. It was designed in August of 2019, long before even Wuhan knew that there was going to be a problem. So it's just a quarter for 2020 with a couple of fruit bats hanging upside down, because y'all, that's what they do. It commemorates the American Samoa National Park. Oh, now, if you want conspiracy theories, speaking of the American Samoas and other Pacific Island properties, Hawaii, I'm looking at you. Now, there are some conspiracies. Not conspiracy theories, though, because there's a difference. Conspiracies happen all the freaking time. So, a lot of people jump on conspiracy theories, pointing to the conspiracies that happen to create the conspiracy theories. But, folks, there are real conspiracy theories where there are no conspiracies. I'll give you an example. I put out a piece of music for everybody to listen to, and it happens to be one of my favorite pieces of music. I used to use it in the show, and it's a piece of music called Telestar. And it was done originally by the Tornadoes. It was done again by Vangelis. And it's a great soundbite. It originally was released in 1962, performed in 1962. It went on the radio stations. And from there, all heck broke loose. There was no conspiracy theory regarding Telestar until after the guys in the band were told, don't you play that no more. Every radio station in the United States got a cease playing that song order. And I'll tell you what, radio stations back then, in 1962, listened to what the government told them, because old Uncle Charlie, the FCC, could shut them down without even asking any questions. And so they stopped playing Telestar. And then the truth came out. Telestar, that great song, was the exact code that was being coded to launch a satellite in 1963. And that satellite's name was to be Telestar. That's right, it was a telecommunications satellite that was going to be launched in 1963. And a government scientist, listening to the song, keeping the beat to the song, said, that is our launch code for Telestar. Even scientists can be wrong. It happens all the time. That's why science is filled with theories. They change. This particular scientist had no musical background, didn't know what he was listening to. It just felt to him like the beats were right for the coding of the launch for Telestar in 1963, and they were nowhere near the launch. Interesting, though. Well, all of the noise was happening about that conspiracy. that somehow the tornadoes got a launch code. Inadvertently, the launch code for Telestar was released because it wasn't too hard to reverse engineer the beat and figure out what a launch code might be from that. So you've got conspiracies, you've got conspiracy theories. People say, well, Barron, what do you think about the conspiracy theory Area 51? First of all, Area 51 is not a conspiracy theory. Area 51 is an area in Nevada called Groom Lake. I've been out there. Well, not all the way out there, but I've almost been out there. I made it past one set of gates, and then men with guns told us to leave. That was an interesting day in the life of. What brings up conspiracy theories for Barron Landscapes is the Wayfair conspiracy just hit. Now, it's by far and means not the only conspiracy that's hit while we've been on lockdown. And it's not surprising, is it, that the very first conspiracies about lockdown were in fact COVID-19 conspiracies. It was made in a lab. We're going to be given chips. There are so many conspiracy theories now about COVID-19. I'm not saying there aren't any conspiracies surrounding the pandemic, but I don't believe that there are any good conspiracy theories. I don't think Bill Gates is going to implant me with a chip. Bill, Melinda, we know each other now. Y'all wouldn't do that, would you? Remember, Mariah. Do Mariah. And besides, everybody that's worried about a chip, you've already been chipped. Well, I mean that metaphorically. You're watching me on a device that knows where I am all the time. It's connected to my car, and my car tells it where it's parked. The key fob that I carry for the car has GPS in it. I'm watching on a smart TV when I review these shows. Folks, we're chipped. We're tracked. We have our social security numbers. We have our DNA already given to the government. We're there. I want a chip. Man, if they can hook it up so I can just pay with stuff by wiping my boop, there you go, no problem. So Wayfair sort of brought this whole conspiracy thing up for me. It's Wayfair, it's Bill Gates, it's COVID. Nothing supernatural. Conspiracy theories don't have to do with the supernatural. Mothman was not a conspiracy theory. The werewolves in Kansas are not conspiracy theories. Those are cryptids and things of the supernatural. And I may just do a show on those too. But tonight it's conspiracies and conspiracy theories. Within conspiracies, for instance, I said Area 51 is not a conspiracy theory. But plenty of conspiracy theories came out of Area 51. I was privileged to be a part of some of those conspiracy theories that came out of Area 51, Groom Lake, that came out of the test site, Lawrence Livermore Laboratories. And I was into the inside of those conspiracies. And make no doubt about it, conspiracies happen all the time. I will never forget when my mother had to take off really quickly, overnight, boom, on a plane, and she headed down to Texas. And when she got back, word eventually got around to the kids that they had gotten 4 detonators, nuclear detonators, from the airport there in Texas. And that's what she had gone out to recover. If you want a very interesting conspiracy theory that my mom was involved in. Now, it was a conspiracy, but not a conspiracy theory, but there are conspiracy theories about it. Now, does that make sense to you? It makes sense to me. Operation Morning Light. So you can Google that. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. A satellite came down. I think all the reasons are declassified now. They're all on the internet. Satellite came down. Nuclear reactor had to be recovered from it. My mother was on the team, nuclear emergency survey team, that did recovery of things like that. And so Operation Morning Light was kept very, very quiet. And at that point, it was a conspiracy. And then later, when it came out, it was just a scientific fact. And once the scientific fact came out, then the conspiracy theories started as to Operation Morning Light. So kind of interesting there. You know, there's supposed to be a ball, a metal alloy ball. We really don't know what it's made from. And it's supposed to be at the Smithsonian Institute of Science. This ball has some strange properties. Well, for instance, if you put it on a ramp, it will roll up the ramp. If you put it at the top, it will roll down slowly. If you put it at the bottom, it will roll up slowly. It's said that the ball can even levitate. Where would something like that come from? Well, the government, just a few weeks ago, and I think they did it just to make us feel good because we were all in lockdown and they wanted to give us something to chew on while we're in lockdown. I think that they released the fact that there are UFOs. They finally admitted it. They said, of course there are UFOs. And folks, of course there are UFOs. Unidentified flying objects. And those are things that are flying in the air that you and I can't identify. I mean, it doesn't mean that they're piloted by little green men, or gray, or flesh tone. The metal in their ships must be different. Certainly that's what they tell us from Roswell, is that the metal in the ship was not like any metal we'd ever seen before. And this ball in the Smithsonian, it does such strange things. Floating up a ramp, floating down a ramp. This is as close as I can come to the metal ball in the Smithsonian. But let's see what kind of strange things are possible. There was a project that the government kept secret. And that project included using the power of one's mind as a weapon. It was a conspiracy theory, and in fact, the conspiracy theorists even gave it a name. MK Ultra. What a great name for a conspiracy. MK Ultra. Well, as documentation began clearing through the federal acts, there was a program. That program had been heavily redacted, but that program was called MK Ultra. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you this evening. Hopefully from now on we're not going to have these breakups. I don't think we had any more after I went live AT&T. I guess we'll just do that live unless we have something going on with the Wi-Fi. Stay healthy. Stay happy. When we talk about conspiracy theories, they abound when there are crises going on. They abound when we're trying to make sense of things in our world. And one of the ways that the human mind attempts to make sense of things is to put it in a understandable order. So it makes sense when Wayfair is selling a cabinet for $14,000 and the SKU number can be put into a Russian site that comes up with Amanda's name on it, the same name that is on the piece of furniture for $14,000. Well, it just seems possible that something's going on. Until you look a little closer. The expensive Wayfair cabinets, those are for government. And by the way, what we should really be upset about is, why is our government paying $14,000 for a bookcase? You and I pay for that, y'all. The SKU number that was put into the Russian site was really just reading the SKU number, and then gibberish was coming up, and that gibberish piqued the curiosity of a conspiracy theorist. In times of crisis, we want to explain things. We want to see dark demons. Because the demons that we face on a daily basis, we want to escape from. So give me another demon, would you please? And that's why these days we'll see a lot of our friends fall to conspiracy theories. It really has nothing to do with how intelligent you are. Remember, we started out the week talking about the different types of intelligence. 5 if you're at one school, 7 if you're in another. But it's a wet cough. But at least 5 different ways that our intelligence works for us. Emotional intelligence, empathic intelligence. Even the smartest physicists can be pulled into a conspiracy theory. I know. I've met them. I will tell you something about a conspiracy. Usually there are so few people involved that they are never, ever released to the general population. And if it's a conspiracy theory, chances are, no matter how good, no matter how complicated it is, you can track down the truth and the false from those conspiracy theories. In this time, concentrate on loving your family. Concentrate on staying well. Concentrate on the fact that Athena and I love you. Concentrate on the fact that we will see you all next Friday, same bat time, same bat station, and we have another good show with some things to think about. I'll never answer your questions, folks, but I certainly will give you fodder to take away and think about. Hit your Google, hit your websites. We'll see y'all later. Athena and I love you very much. See you next week. Smithsonian. Do you think they buy that bullshit? There's a ball that goes uphill. There's a ball that goes